Hello, I'm Brett Crocker, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of teamwork from a future PE teacher. So, teamwork is pretty important to me because I'm studying in the field of physical education. There's a big emphasis on teamwork and cooperation, and that's because there's a lot of valuable skills that you can get from being in a team environment. And I feel like the topic of the week is cooperation, and I feel like this is a topic that's kind of been drilled into my head as a future PE teacher on trying to reach good cooperation skills for the students and whatnot. So today we're just going to be talking about cooperation, and we're going to see where it goes. So the first thing I want to talk about is how team building can be used in any environment. So obviously in school, I would like team building is important for classmates. It's a good way to make friends and to work on skills like that. But team building, you're gonna learn skills that you're gonna be using in your job in the future. Like any company you work for, any job you do, you're gonna need to communicate with bosses. You're gonna need to communicate with coworkers. You're gonna need to communicate with other staff from other jobs. Like it's pretty important. So to learn these skills and how to be a good team player and how to communicate, how to listen, how to cooperate, how to problem solve, all these things are going to be important for the future. So learning these skills in school, especially at the physical education environment, this is going to teach you these skills in low stakes situations. So when you're playing soccer and you're trying to make a pass to someone, you're like, "Hey, so and so, I'm passing." When you call it to them, like it's pretty low stakes. But in a job, if you don't tell your boss, like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a couple minutes late tomorrow because I have this thing going on, I have an appointment or whatever," and you don't do that, and then you don't show up, it's like you're probably gonna be in trouble. So I mean, that's kind of a weird scenario, but I mean, these are just instances where communication will be important in the future, and just how working on it at a younger age with low stakes, where the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose a game in gym class. Like that's a good practice. And then also the importance of teamwork when it comes to communication, problem solving, and cooperation. So working together, you're always going to be working with people. You might not see eye to eye with them. You might have different beliefs. Sorry, my dog's barking. So you might have different beliefs with someone, and you got to work with others, and you're gonna have to talk to them. You're gonna have to listen to them, and how like the second TED talk I listened to, you have to She said that the number one thing you have to do is listen, and that no one's ever listened themselves out of a job. So it's good to hear what other people have to say, where they're coming from, because they have an entirely different point of view from you. So having that point of view, um, where you don't see things something the same way, is kind of like how if you try and solve a problem over and over and over, and your mind has all these ideas in your head of how it should have been done, you know, and sometimes it just takes somebody else to look at it with fresh eyes, and it helps you solve it clearly. So I really see that like working with each other and being able to talk to them and work through problems is a great impact that team building and teamwork in just a PE class could have on someone just for their future. So the last thing I want to talk about is how kind of my two TED talks that I listened to or impact this topic that I'm talking about. And I kind of touched on how the second one did. How her name's Celeste Headley, I believe. Yeah, Celeste Headley. 10 ways to be a better conversation, to have a better conversation. And I mean, she listed a bunch of like 10 reasons on how to do it. And just like number 9 was, listen. Listening is the best thing you can do. Also, she talked about how if somebody says they're going through a tough time, say for example, they had a grandfather die, it's important that you don't say, "Oh well, last year my grandfather died," and it's always kind of trying to like put, you know what I mean, making making you the focal point of the conversation. Sometimes it's better just to listen to them because they're going through their situation with their grandfather is a lot different from your situation. So it can be beneficial to to just hear them out because no situation is the same. Every situation is unique for each person. Every single person is going to handle something differently. So being able to have that, have a conversation where you're not trying to, like I can see how you could be trying to connect with someone, being like, yeah, I experienced too. But I mean, just don't kind of try and steal the show from them, just be like, yeah, I agree. I've been there too, and like I'm here for you if you need it. So I mean, there's a lot of good ways that Celeste talked about that are pretty good. And then the last thing the first one I listened to was Julia Galef, Why You Think You're Right Even When You're Wrong. And I mean, this one wasn't bad. I liked the second one a lot more. I thought the second one had a lot of good information in it. This one was good too. It talked about how somebody will attack and defend ideas based on your perspective. So an example she used was when a ref makes a bad call in a game, or when a ref makes a call in a game, if you root for the team that they called the call against, you're probably gonna be like, ooh, you're gonna find every reason why that was a bad call. But if the call helped your team, even if it was bad, you're gonna be like, they didn't call it, so it wasn't a foul, And I mean, I definitely can relate to that. I've definitely been there. So there was a lot of fact to what she was saying, and so it's kind of like an eye opener, kind of how sometimes you just need to take your bias aside and really look at something with fresh eyes. So yeah.